This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
What's going on, freaks? Definitely feel like there's something brewing inside now. Hey, that looks like the face I made of Chad Daybell, Dobby. And by the way, why'd you type in Yao Ming up above? I don't get it. I don't understand. Annabelle Stealth, you typed in Yao Ming. What is that? What do you... He played, I think he played, he was an NBA basketball player, wasn't he? For the Rockets. Well, I don't know, when you say staying healthy, I don't know what you mean. My, you know, like I've said before, like 10 times already, my wife had COVID the other day because she works at a hospital, and somebody worked there that was sick, and then she got it, and then she tested positive 2 days ago, and, you know, I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? I don't know how I would, when you say staying healthy, you can't avoid, you know, it's like, unless you live in if you were in a spacesuit or something like that, you can avoid it. Especially when you live with the person in a small house and one has it. There's no way to do it. Yeah, today isn't Thursday, but yeah. Oh, well, I hope not, but dude! Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to avoid. Yeah. I mean, my last booster I got was in November, so it's kind of a while back. I hate when girls use the word dude. It's just like, ugh. So, I don't know. Yeah. Right. How the home? Well, we haven't started the home renovations. Trying to get a better price. I mean, it's amazing how many things they work in there. Like, well, we mark up all the items that you buy, and then over at the end, I mark it up another 25%. You know, it's like, God, you kidding me? I've never had a more irritating start of a show. It's like unbelievable. Alright, I'm going to play the I'm just going to do the trial part first. Hey, thanks, Scouting Dude. And that's right, you guys, if you'd like to help out, I mean, I know today is, you know, been another long day, but if you want to help support the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, just like Scouting Dude there, that would be awesome. Huh? What do you mean, what does yours say? I don't have any idea what that means. Oh, it's been a week. Yeah, I just have that feel. You can hear it in my voice. I don't sound normal. It's a little off there. Yeah, I hope there isn't like another something new going around. That'd suck. And what feature? What heart feature? What are you looking at? Yeah, it doesn't matter if you eat healthy, you're going to catch it if it's right in front of your face. That's how it works. Unless you're a miracle person who body just happens to be able, that's the thing. There's people out there that just randomly, they're not any healthier or take care of themselves better than anybody else. They just don't catch it because their body somehow had a natural ability. Okay, but everybody else, you just get it if you come in contact with it. That's why it's sort of better to live as a hermit. Yeah, you just kind of... I don't know what you're saying, the heart feature. Where are you talking about? You mean below a video where it says you can super chat, like a super thanks? That's been around a while. I can see hearts, and I'm on hearts where? In the chat, or what? What are you talking about? Are you guys punking me tonight? Is that what's going on here? Where is it? In the chat or on the screen? Okay, I don't have any idea what you're talking about then. Yeah, I don't have a phone. I use a computer. No, on the screen they're flying up from the button of your screen. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Tosh and Annabelle Stell, 6 months.
Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave.
Yeah. I mean, how do they come about, the hearts? Does somebody have to press a button and then it... I think you guys are going to make me sicker quicker. I mean, this is... Wow. Okay, I'm just going to play this. The trial's only... I got it down to 59 minutes, and it sped up. So then we'll get on to the other stuff after that. I just want to get it out of the way for the people who just wanted to watch Daybell stuff. Hey, Mag. And thanks for the PayPal the other day. I said it on the show, but I don't know if you were here. Don't forget the thumbs up. Good to see you. Thank you. Dancing right on Blue's head.
Listening while cooking. Don't forget the thumbs
I guess that's the...
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
I guess this is what we're seeing now, this little thing right here. See these hearts flying up? I'm not sure where they come from or how they appear, but there you go. Does anybody know how they show up? Yeah, earlier I gave away 5 and Juju Positive gave 10 away memberships, and then I can't remember who was the other person that gave away a whole bunch. No, it's not my birthday, Danielle. Are you joking around? Are you joking? I'm being punked. I know it. I know it.
Is it your birthday, Gray?
No. Cindy J told people it was my birthday, and it caused a big stir on the live stream today. Stir. Yeah. I don't know. What's wrong with you, Lively? You just kind of, I'm not feeling well. Plus, there's a lot of strange comments, just meaningless. I was like, what? What's going on? You see the hearts too. Okay, cool. I would just deal with your own issues, Lively. Yeah, we saw the heart issues. The images. I got two people sent them. I just showed it a second ago on the screen. Did you see that? All right, here we go. I'm going to play the trial from today.
Please be seated.
Maybe after a while I'll feel better.
All right, thank you. We will go back on the record this morning. KCR 22-21-1624, State of Idaho versus Lori Noreen Vallow. We are in jury trial at this time. The state continues with its case in chief. The court was advised that due to some unforeseen circumstances, the state was requesting a modification of some of the trial schedule relating to today as well as Monday. Is that correct, Mr. Wood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So as I understand it, the state may have an issue where they'll need to end early today, as well as a request that we not hold trial this coming Monday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Have you discussed that potential change of the schedule with the defense?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Thomas or Mr. Archibald, is there any response to that request to modify our trial schedule?
Your Honor, we understand the circumstances. We have no objection.
All right. Based on that, the court will modify our trial schedule accordingly. So we'll get through what we can today with the state's case in chief, and we'll plan on also not holding court this coming Monday. I'll advise the jurors of that at some point as well, when appropriate. Are there any other matters we need to bring up before we continue with evidence this morning, Mr. Wood?
Not from the state.
From the defense? Okay, and the court will note that the parties are all here present and the defendant as well. I apologize, I should have checked before, but in terms of our jurors, have they all reported this morning and signed their affirmation? Very well. Thank you. At this time then, if we can please have the jurors brought in.
There we go. There's your chart again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bailiff. Please be seated. All right, the court notes that the jurors are all present and properly seated this morning. We've received the affirmation. I continue to extend my appreciation and thanks to the jurors for following those admonitions each day as we go through this trial. When we concluded trial yesterday, Detective Hermosillo was on the stand still in cross-examination with Mr. Thomas. So I'll remind the witness you are still...
Here, let me try to open it. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me do it a different way. That way there's two different programs instead of it always replaces the other.
Please be seated. At some point as well. Still in cross-examination with Mr.
No, it does sort of feel like I was being punked or something on the show. You know, it's like, you know, when you call somebody out and say, "Hey, Gray, you seem like you're," well, I mean, you know, you guys, I'm on the show every single night. I just told you that my wife has COVID. I feel like I'm getting it now. My throat's messed up. Things are going on. And then when you say, "God, Gray, you seem like you're in a bad," well, hey, genius, don't you already know why I might be feeling the way I am? All right, thanks.
Mr. Thomas. So I'll remind the witness you are still under oath. And Mr. Thomas, if you'd like to continue with your cross, you can.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, Mickey Duff. And part of this trial today, they had there's a segment that I was looking at. It looked like there was no audio, but there was this muffled sound, almost like it was a recording. And man, you boost that thing up, you couldn't hear a damn thing. Okay, you couldn't hear anything.
Good morning, Detective. Yesterday, we left off.
There we go. Adoram said a very merry unbirthday.
A very merry unbirthday.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Talking about the dig on June the 9th. And you indicated that you were brought from the fire pit over to
Thank you,
the pet cemetery. Is that correct? Okay. And you indicated that there were, well, I don't know that you indicated, I guess I should ask. How many people were with you when you were digging at the pet cemetery? How many other people were digging with you? I believe you said that you were having to switch out every couple of minutes.
That's a big cemetery there, isn't it?
There we go. That's correct.
So how many people were you switching off with?
I couldn't tell you the number of people.
Okay. Do you know any of the names?
I remember Detective Dave Hope.
Thanks, Alec Bell still.
I remember Detective Dave Stubbs. I remember Lieutenant Colin Erickson. That's the only names I can remember.
Okay. And those are guys that you've worked with for a while?
That's correct.
Okay. So I assume there are some people from the ERT team, from the FBI ERT team there.
I can't stand the way this attorney sounds, by the way. I mean, just, okay. He sounds, there's a reporter that covers the Blazers who sounds exactly the same just sort of nonsensical blathering on about nothing.
As well.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mickey Duff.
And you indicated that that it was a slow and methodical type of a situation. How long did that take while before you pulled out the green bucket from when you started from the top? If you can remember.
Well, we started late afternoon. Well, I shouldn't say late afternoon. Early afternoon.
Thank you, Eugene.
On June 9th. We didn't get everything out of the ground until afternoon of June 10th.
Okay. So what did you do between, I believe, I thought you said that you started digging in the fire pit or sifting in the fire pit around 8:30. Is that right? Does that sound right?
On June 9th.
Okay, and then you switched over about a half an hour later to the.
Oh, by the way, look, Cindy J, I love having you around. You drive me absolutely nuts. Leigh, same thing, right? You guys, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it gives me something to banter back and forth. Like especially Cindy, though. I mean, Cindy is always. I don't know what you call it. It's just. What do you refer to it? Like Gilligan and Skipper, Like they were like, doop, and the other one's just, what the hell are you talking about? It's like every single day, but I always think it's fun having you here, anyways. So it doesn't matter.
To the pet cemetery, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what did you do between say 9 o'clock and early afternoon?
Let me back up. I didn't switch over to the pet cemetery. I switched over to JJ's burial site, which was under the tree.
JJ's burial site. Okay.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
You did that between 9 a.m. and when?
JJ's burial site?
Yes.
9 a.m.
I know, Cindy, I
until
can tell.
Probably 1 p.m.
Okay. And that's when you switched over to the pet cemetery?
After JJ was removed from the ground, I went to the morgue.
Okay.
And then I came back, and that's when I went to the pet cemetery area.
Gotcha. All right. And so when you left with, who was it that you went?
Yeah, no problem. I got it today again. It's only an hour and something minutes long. They broke early today, so.
To the morgue with? You went with Brenda Dye, right?
I'm going to keep getting it every day.
She was in a vehicle in front of me, and my vehicle was Lieutenant Ron Ball.
Ron Ball. Okay.
Is there court in the Daybell case tomorrow? I know there's
How long
not
did you
in
guys stay at the morgue?
Letitia.
15 minutes.
So it was just a check-in, turn the body over, then you left and went back?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Well, thanks, Scout Dude. A true crime pimp, huh?
I'm not sure if you...
Sure what that is.
I was a little bit confused about something you said, I believe on direct examination with the prosecuting attorney, that you had found some teeth and some bones in the fire pit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was when you first started at 9 a.m. in the fire pit area, or was that later on, the first day on the 9th or the second day?
No, I believe it was the first day when we started sifting through the dirt and debris from the fire pit is when we located those.
Stuff that you do.
And where, as we talked about the fire pit being a very large area, where in relation to that ring of where the fire pit was, the actual fire pit area, where in relation to that was where the teeth and the bones found?
I don't recall.
Were you the one that recovered them?
No, sir.
Who was the one that recovered those?
I don't recall who exactly it was that recovered them.
Okay, how did you come to the knowledge that there were some that were found?
Because I was there on scene.
Okay. But you don't know who found them? You don't know
Who cares?
when they were found?
No, sir.
Okay. I believe you said that you left on June the 10th
guy's crazy.
to go to Ada County. About what time did you leave
Great
Fremont County?
questions, man.
And then when you got to Ada County, I'm assuming it was after normal business hours, after 5 o'clock. And so how does it work when you drop a body off at the coroner's office?
We called. They knew we were on our way. There's a bay that we pull
What
into.
office on the corner?
They had one of their employees meet us at the bay. He then took custody of JJ and Tylee out of the back of the coroner's vehicle, and they were left there in the custody of Ada County Coroner.
Okay. And do you specifically recall who this particular individual was that was working at the Ada County Coroner's office?
I don't recall a name, no.
Okay.
I'm sure there's paperwork on it.
Okay. Did you recall seeing him the next day at the autopsy?
No, he was not at the autopsy the next day.
Okay. So it would have been one of the people listed on the whiteboard?
That's correct.
Okay. I want to jump back a little bit to JJ's burial site. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 10H.
Thank you.
So this is a photograph of the burial spot where the rocks had been removed already, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And these are the boards
Yeah, it's crazy,
that were
man.
recovered?
It's just
That's correct.
Nothing.
Okay. Did you ever look or try to see where these boards might match in this house? Did you find anything in the garage or in the barn area or anywhere else on the property?
We did.
And was there anything that came of that?
There were boards that were similar to the style, similar to the thickness, but we were never able to match, if you will, the sister board to the boards that we located.
Okay. And where did you locate those boards?
In Chad Daybell's garage area, just on his property, the red garage area.
Okay. And were you a part of that actual search?
I was a part of the search, yes.
Okay. And you were one of the ones that were trying to match these boards up?
I personally didn't try to match the boards up. We were all part of the search, looking for boards similar.
Okay. And when you say all, you mean everybody that was on the property that day?
Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Okay. Anybody in particular that
I
you
gotta
remember?
say it.
No, sir.
Okay. When you search the apartment of Lori Vallow or of Alex Cox or of Melanie Bedreau, Melanie Pulowski, you didn't find any boards that matched, that even looked similar to any of those boards, right?
We weren't looking for boards at that time. The search was November 27th, 2019.
Yeah.
We didn't search Mr. Daybell's property until June of 2020.
Okay. Did you find any boards, anything in your search when you searched the apartments on November?
See, I think you know what I understand is why I think in a way they're separating the two trials because.
Thank you for covering all these trials this week and all.
Yeah, no problem. I think they're separating them, in my opinion, because Chad is an absolute no-brainer. Like he is absolutely going to be found guilty. Where Lori's has nuances in there, you know. Except she's got a ton of things, text messages and conversations that all point to the same thing. But Alex was with Chad, and you could easily say that they were like doing the killings together, where Lori has a chance to pretend that she had nothing to do with it or something. So I think that's kind of why they're doing it, because if you lump them together, it seems like the jury might be like, yeah, they're both not guilty, or they're both guilty. Something like that. It might be some weird way where if they're separate, you have a way better chance of nailing Chad. And, I think Lori maybe even then has a better chance too. I don't know. But I think that's probably... She's not innocent at all, Cindy. What are you talking about? She's absolutely part of conspiring to kill the kids. There's no doubt about that at all. And Charles and everybody. Okay? So I don't think she has any physical... I don't think she physically hurt Tylee or JJ, but I think she definitely was part of the planning. And you can tell because she's over there at the storage unit, she was trying to take out Brandon Boudreaux. She even was like, God, Alex, why weren't you able to kill Tammy quick enough? You know, so there's just a whole bunch of stuff there. There are going to be a whole bunch more trials. I mean, so even if this one doesn't work, you're going to have a conspiracy to commit murder on Tammy Daybell. Then you're going to have one conspiracy to commit murder on Charles Vallow. She's never going to get out of prison, okay? She's going to be in there, or at least jail, like forever, really. It's just...
26, anything popping out in your mind? Any spare wood laying around or anything like that?
Sir, we weren't looking for boards at that time, so I wouldn't have been drawn to any boards. They wouldn't have meant anything at that time.
Okay. Did you take photographs? Were there photographs taken of those searches?
There were.
Okay. You've studied those photographs, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, as part of your investigation, you're the lead investigator for this team today, right?
That's correct.
All right. So that would have been part of your job.
Yes, that's a perfect example of a Cindy J-ism up there. She's probably innocent. And then I said, you got to be kidding me. And then she goes, of course she's innocent. That was meant to be in my Mary Lou whiny voice. Well, how in the hell am I supposed to know that? Okay? There's no dash Mary Lou. There's no quotes dash Mary Lou. There's nothing. It's just you commenting. All right, you get what I'm saying? So there's where me and Cindy J, we just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Just to study those photos, be there on scene. Nothing came out that looked like there were any boards or anything like that in that search or in any of those photographs.
I don't recall any
I know it is
boards
Cindy.
in any of the photographs.
Okay. And you did a thorough search of those apartments?
For the children?
You did a thorough search of the apartments, right? You photographed a lot of stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Jumping back to the autopsy, you indicate that you were there when JJ's autopsy was done. Was there any trace evidence collected on that particular day on June 11th from the autopsy?
We stood in the back. The medical examiner didn't let us get too up close with. He had his team working around JJ, so I wasn't directly involved with the autopsy, so I can't answer to that. I just observed.
Okay. At any time later, after the autopsy was done, did you take trace evidence off of JJ's body?
I did not know personally.
Okay. Do you know anybody who did?
Yep, been a long time.
I do not know personally anybody that did.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Wood, does the state have any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can.
I've waited so long for
Detective
this case
Hermosillo.
of justice. Yep.
On cross, you were asked about the weapons that were found in the garage of apartment 175, correct?
Correct.
And if you had any knowledge that they belonged to Lori Daybell.
I do not have any knowledge that they belong to Lori, no.
Right. So why did you take pictures of those items that day?
A couple reasons. One, it was extremely suspicious to have those guns along with everything else we located. We took photographs because, and took the guns out of the residence because when we went inside the residence, the door was broken. It was unable to lock. So we took photographs of the weapons and held on to the weapons for safekeeping at that point.
Okay. And so at the time, why were those weapons suspicious? That's the word you used. Can you clarify that?
At the time, we knew that there was an attempted homicide in Gilbert, Arizona on October 2nd of Brandon Boudreaux. We also realized through our investigation that there was an attempted homicide or an attempted shooting at Tammy Daybell on October 9th. And that's why the weapons were photographed.
Okay. And they were seized, correct?
Correct.
And now, in light of all the evidence you're aware of, why are those things relevant? Why are those weapons relevant?
Because we're unsure whether those weapons were possibly used in those crimes.
Okay. Did you stated earlier you had no reason to believe they were Lori's. At the time, did you have a reason to believe who they belonged to?
No.
Okay. Defense counsel asked you about the steps you took to obtain a search warrant, correct?
For which warrant?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's go back to the morning of November 25th.
Okay.
That was the day, and correct me if I'm wrong, was it November 25th that law enforcement first made contact with Lori Vallow?
That was November 26th.
November 26th, thank you. And defense counsel asked you about a conversation that led you to take steps to get a warrant.
Correct.
Now, just to clarify, so that everybody understands, when you made contact with Chad Daybell and Alex Cox, who did you call?
Lieutenant Ron Ball.
Okay. And what did you do after Lieutenant Ron Ball arrived on scene?
We went back to apartment 175, knocked on the door, there was no answer. We also went to 174, which was Melanie Boudreau's apartment. Knocked on the door, there was no answer. There was also no answer at apartment 107.
Okay. And so at that point, what did you do?
At that point, we attempted to call Lori Vallow from a cell phone number that Chad Daybell finally provided to us. There was also no answer on the cell phone. So at that time, we drove to the prosecutor's office to see if we needed to obtain a warrant.
Okay. And who is we? Who are you talking about?
Myself and Detective Dave Hope.
And did you obtain a warrant on November 26th?
No, we did not.
How come?
We were able to make contact with Lori Vallow, and she was instructed to open the front door, that there were detectives outside that wanted to speak with her.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did she speak with them?
She did.
Okay. Now, yesterday, defense counsel asked you about a conversation that led you to take steps to get a warrant, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned a Melanie Gibb, correct?
That's correct.
What was the conversation that led you to contacting Melanie Gibb?
When Lori Vallow was contacted by Lieutenant Ron Ball and Detective Dave Stubbs, she stated that J.J. Vallow was with Melanie Gibb in Arizona. Immediately, we attempted to call Melanie, and she didn't answer the phone.
Thank you, Daryl.
They went back to the residence, made contact.
It said, "Hey, Gray, your favorite Canadian boy here. Sorry to hear you and your wife pass." Well, she has it, but we'll see if I mean, I just feel like, well, thank you. Hope you recover quick. I can just sort of tell I feel different than I did a couple days ago. I have that little itchy feeling kind of between your, like right at the bottom of your throat, sort of almost like the upper chest area thing. And then I just don't feel good, sort of a weird couple aches here and there that shouldn't be there,
Again with Lori Vallow, and she stated that JJ
we'll
wanted
see,
to go
though. Maybe
see
my
a
body will
movie,
fight it
Frozen
off.
2, and that Melanie Gibb had taken JJ to the movie to see Frozen 2, so that's why they weren't answering the cell phone.
Okay. And to your knowledge, were you or other law enforcement able to get into contact with Melanie Gibb eventually?
Yes, we were.
Oh, what? Oh, Melanie Gibb. We're about to talk about Melanie Gibb. Well, I will say that, like, even if I'm feeling really shitty, I'll do the Letitia Stout live streams, but it'll just be the 3-window screen, probably, because I won't be able to just sit there and keep changing and monitoring.
Sorry to hear you and your wife possibly have the vid. Hope you recover quick.
Yep. Well, thank you.
Okay. And did she have JJ?
No, she did not.
Melanie.
And is that what led you to get a warrant the next day?
That's correct.
Melanie Gibb here was going to be their alibi,
Defense counsel
but
asked you
wasn't
yesterday
able to
about
do it.
all the tips you received. Correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little more about the process you had set up to receive tips at the Rexburg Police Department.
We had a hotline through NCMEC, through the FBI, and through the Rexburg Police Department. And so when tips would come in to the Rexburg Police Department itself, we would have what's called a tip sheet. And we would have the number of the tip.
You got that one? Maybe.
Who called the tip in. Sometimes they remained anonymous. Sometimes they left their name and phone number. And just a brief description of what the tip was. At that time, it was assigned to an officer or detective to follow up with that individual tip and either confirm or deny the
Thanks, Cindy, for
sighting or whereabouts
permission.
based on the information on that tip.
Okay. And as I understood it yesterday, defense counsel essentially said you didn't follow up on every tip, correct?
Correct.
So for a while here on this map, it used to be there was a yellow on Brandon and a yellow on JJ and a yellow on Tylee because we didn't know what their disposition was. And then eventually he was the only person who ultimately survived attacks. Brandon Boudreau is the only one who made it.
Okay. Let's talk about some different examples of those tips. Once you received a tip, you would attempt to contact the person, correct?
Correct.
There we go. There is Eugenie, who said, "At least this Gib stayed alive." Boom.
Were there individuals who you were able to get in contact with?
Very good.
Did some people send you pictures?
Hey.
Were you ever able to match those pictures with pictures of Tylee and JJ?
No.
Okay. Were some of those tips from psychics?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have, were there any occasions where people would call and leave a tip and you would try to contact them and they would not respond?
Yes, there were.
Okay. But you did try to reach out to every single one of those people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you followed up on every tip?
That's correct.
I don't think she has any charges.
Defense counsel asked you yesterday about a body cam. They asked if you were wearing a body cam.
Correct.
And you responded that you weren't.
Correct.
As a detective, do you normally wear a body cam?
No, sir.
When you were on patrol, did you normally wear a body cam?
Absolutely. When we were on patrol, we were assigned a body cam. When I went over to the detective division, it's very rare that we make field contacts or we're the first people on scene. It's usually patrol. So a lot of our contacts and interviews are in a more controlled environment at the police department, and a vast majority of those are recorded at the police department.
Defense counsel asked you about sifting through the fire pit. Can you describe the process of how you sifted and others sifted through the fire pit?
The evidence recovery team, FBI evidence recovery team, brought a sifter with them. We would have one person scoop a shovel full of dirt, place it into the sifter. Underneath the sifter, there was a tarp. And so we would shake the sifter, sift through the dirt, and any material that was too big to go through the sifter was examined. Occasionally we would get rocks and different things, but there were many times that we got teeth, charred bone, little burnt pieces of flesh that were still there. So that was the process. We would call over an ERT member who was in charge of photographs if there was something that was in the sifter. We wouldn't touch it. We would call over a photographer. They would take pictures of it, log it down, and take it into evidence. Once that was completed, we would go back to sifting.
Defense counsel asked you about kind of the timeline of the search on the Daybell property. Correct?
Correct.
So just to clarify that again, approximately what time did you show up at the residence?
Approximately 7 in the morning.
Okay.
On June 9th.
And other members of the search team were staged
Correct.
down the road at the Sugar Salem Church?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall approximately what time they showed up?
Probably 7:20, 7:30 in the morning.
Okay. You testified yesterday about
They're right there. So they all were looking
about serving the warrant on Chad Daybell.
Yes, sir.
And you testified about observing him in front of his house sitting in a car?
Correct.
Approximately what time was that?
See, like right here, there's a guy with a camera filming right down at the ground. Looks almost like a skull or something. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people looking right at what this person's doing.
Approximately between 8 and 8:30 maybe.
Okay. And you observed him, to your perception, looking over his shoulder?
Yes.
You testified, correct, that he was on the phone?
Correct.
Okay. Going back to those tips really quick, you said you followed up on everyone, or the police did. Were any of them credible?
No.
Meaning, and let me re-ask that, I apologize, did any of them aid in finding JJ or Tylee?
No.
Okay. Have you ever, since June 9th, or let me rephrase that, at any time in your investigation, have you found any evidence to suggest that JJ was alive after September 22nd or 23rd?
No, sir.
Similarly, at any time in your investigation, have you found any evidence to suggest that Tylee was alive after September 8th or 9th, 2020?
Of 2019?
2019, I apologize, thank you.
Not after September 8th or 9th of 2019, no.
Defense counsel asked you this morning about the search of Lori's apartment, or Miss Vallow Daybell's apartment, correct?
Correct.
At that point, was it a homicide investigation?
No, sir.
What were you looking for?
We were looking for J.J. Vallow at that point.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Your Honor, I apologize. May I recross? There's just one item, and I know this is, I don't want to get into a thing where we're going back and forth, but there is one thing I'd like to ask you real quick.
I'll allow limited recross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thomas.
Detective, you indicated on redirect examination that there was an attempted homicide on October the 9th, 2019. You specifically used those words, attempted homicide. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. There's no evidence of an attempted homicide on October the 9th, correct?
We believe there was an attempted homicide on October the 9th, 2019.
Okay. Let me just back up a little bit here. So on October the 9th,
Yes,
Tammy
that's
Daybell
Tammy.
said that she was confronted with someone who she thought had a paintball gun, correct?
Correct.
And she said that someone had shot a paintball gun in her direction. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you never found any bullets, any bullet holes, anything like that when you investigated the October 9th attempted paintball shooting?
I personally didn't investigate it. It happened in Fremont County, so that would be a Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Would have done that.
But you're the case agent here today, and you've reviewed all that information, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that'll conclude the
What a
testimony
dingbat.
then of the detective.
Yeah, Tammy was shot at by
The
Alex
case agent,
Cox.
you're allowed to remain in, so
No doubt about it.
you can go ahead and step down. Thank you for your testimony today and yesterday.
Yeah, Tammy Daybell was shot at on October 9th by Alex Cox, and that's why Lori apparently messaged somebody saying, man, he can't do anything right. Okay? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's just... now, you might... I mean, I wouldn't have any doubt if, like, just knowing what I know, if I was on a jury. I would have no doubt at all that that was part of the conspiracy, and that's why she dies 10 days later, because that was what they wanted to do. And because Lori was upset, man, he can't do anything right, then Chad probably took it upon himself and did it. And they probably even communicated and talked about how to do it and what quickly, don't allow them to do an autopsy, make it look like this. And it wasn't just something he came up willy-nilly. I guarantee it, there were conversations about it.
All right, the state can call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call Lieutenant Jared Wilmore.
And Your Honor, Spencer Rammel for the state on this witness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rammel.
That was kind of weird, Gloria, wasn't it? A lot of people coughing in there sound like me.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, they're related. Well, the murders of the attempted murder of Brandon
All right, Lieutenant
Boudreaux.
Wilmore, as we get started here, I'll just remind you we're keeping a stenographic record of these proceedings, so please use verbal responses such as yes or no. Please try to avoid talking at the same time as any lawyer questioning you so the record remains clear. With that in mind, Mr. Rammel, you can inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Lieutenant, can I have you state your name and spell your last name for the record, please?
Jared Wilmore, Willmore.
Lieutenant, where are you employed?
Madison County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been employed in that capacity?
It'll be 20 years this year.
And how long have you worked in law enforcement?
It'll be close to 20 years.
Okay. And are you post-certified?
Yes.
What are your current assignment and responsibilities?
Currently, I'm the captain over the Madison County Jail and manage that facility.
As a part of your current responsibilities, do you oversee the Madison County Jail Telmate system?
Yes.
I mean, don't you think it's weird? After Alex kills Charles, he's out there and he shoots at Brandon Boudreaux. Tries to shoot. This is all after killing Charles. Shoots at Brandon Boudreaux first. Then he shoots at Tammy Daybell. Misses both of those people. Then after that, he kills Tylee and JJ. I mean, man, that guy's almost like a serial killer, except it's not. They wouldn't consider it that.
Can you explain what that system is and how it works?
The Telmate system is an inmate phone system. They can do video visitations, phone calls, messages, and so people who are in custody can talk to their family and friends on the outside.
And how long have you overseen Telmate in Madison County?
The last 6 years.
And does that include the Telmate system? Does that include both telephone calls and video visits?
Yes.
When a video call is made or taken by an inmate, is the camera always utilized?
Not always. It depends. If an inmate removes the tablet from the charging station, the camera function will go black, and then it just becomes an audio call.
Lieutenant, how do you ensure that inmates do not place calls or video visits on behalf of other inmates?
Each inmate has a unique PIN number assigned to them, so they have to enter in their PIN number. It's also, there's facial recognition for the tablet video visits, and it's managed and reviewed by deputies to make sure that that's not happening.
Whenever an inmate places a call or participates in a video visit, is any information recorded or stored regarding that call or visit?
Yes, anything on the Telmate system is recorded, with the exception of attorney phone calls or visitations. Those are privileged, so they're not recorded, but everything else is recorded.
Lieutenant, is the second or outside party participating in that call, is that individual required to provide name and some personal information?
Yes.
And as the individual who oversees this system, how do you access the information that is stored?
So I have a username and password to access the system, and then once into the system, I can go in and review any video visits or phone calls under any specific inmate listed that we have in custody.
And do you have the ability to edit or make changes to any of this information?
No.
Where are the phones and tablets that the inmates can utilize? Where are those located in the jail?
In our jail, we have a day room, a pod, we call it. And so in that day room, they are located in just that open day room area, and an inmate can access the phones, the tablets. Again, the tablets can be taken off a charging station and taken anywhere in that day room. The phones are hard mounted to the wall, and so they have to stand next to the phone. Obviously, staff to stand next to the phone to make a phone call. So, yeah.
Do other agencies have the ability to edit or make changes to any of the information stored on these calls or video visits?
No.
How do you know the date and time a call was placed?
Every time a phone call or a video visit comes in, it is time stamped with the date and time that came in through the system.
Lieutenant, at the state's request, did you access some calls and video visits made or received by Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I could have the witness handed what has been marked as States 33. Actually, Judge, I'm going to have him handed 33, 34A, and 34B.
I see him. Thank you. We've talked about it.
Lieutenant, I'm going to have you focus on what's been marked as States 33. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a thumb drive containing a phone call from June 9th, 2020 between Chad and Lori Daybell.
And how do you know that?
I've reviewed and listened to this phone call.
And specifically, have you reviewed that USB device?
Yes.
And have you initialed and dated when you reviewed it?
Yes.
Fair to say that you monitored a number of jail calls made between Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell. Correct. Yes. And you recognize the number and the voice as the second party as Chad Daybell?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate representation of a call that was made between Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell in States Exhibit 33?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would move to admit States 33.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
States Exhibit 33 is admitted.
Lieutenant, I'm going to have you look now at
Sorry to
States.
interrupt.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Brief sidebar with counsel, please. All right, we just had a brief sidebar. The court was just discussing the admission and handling of digital files with counsel, so thank you for your attention on that, counsel. Apologies for my interruption, and you can continue with your examination, Mr. Rammel.
Thank you, Judge. Lieutenant, I'm going to have you now look at what has been marked as States Exhibit 34A. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
It's a thumb drive containing a digital video visit between Summer Shiflett and Lori Vallow on June 24th, 2020.
And how do you know that?
This is the thumb drive I initialed and dated, and on the date I reviewed the phone call.
And you reviewed that call on that thumb drive?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate representation of a call made between Lori Vallow, or excuse me, a video visit made between Lori Vallow and Summer Shiflett?
Yeah, see, I don't think this was even audible in the audio file. Even boosting it up, it was just crazy. It's terrible.
On
So it's probably not even there.
June 24th, 2020.
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would move to admit what has been marked as States 34A.
Any objection?
We have no objection to the admission of 34A if it is what it purports to be.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas. 34A is
Thanks,
admitted.
Tosh.
Lieutenant, I'm going to have you now look at what has been marked as States Exhibit 34B. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize that to be?
This is also a thumb drive containing a video visitation between Lori Vallow and Colby Ryan on August 3rd, 2020.
And how do you know?
This is the same thumb drive that I dated and initialed after listening and reviewing the video visit.
And is that a true and accurate representation of a video visit made between Lori Vallow Daybell and Colby Ryan on 8/24/2020?
Yes.
State would move to admit.
August 3rd, 2020.
I'm sorry, August 3rd, 2020.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
All right, the state's moved to admit Exhibit 34B. Is there any objection from the defense?
No objection to 34B, Your Honor, if it is what it purports to be.
Okay, Exhibit 34B then is admitted.
And then can I be handed back State's Exhibit 33, please?
33.
Lieutenant, you testified in State's Exhibit 33. It was a call made between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell on June 9th, 2020. Does that date catch your attention?
Yes.
What catches your attention about it?
That was the date that a search was made out at Chad Daybell's property, and when the search was conducted and the bodies of JJ and Tylee were found.
And you were made aware of it that morning?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would request that we publish States 33 to the jury.
Any objection to that being published?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Exhibit 33 may be published to the jury.
This is a call from and paid for by Lori, an inmate at Madison County Jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now. Thank you for using Cellmates.
No. No, they're searching the property.
The house right now?
Yeah. No enemies.
An inmate at...
Your Honor, that's all I have for you, Lieutenant Wilmore. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rammel. Any cross-examination?
Yeah, well, we've covered it from the start, even before most people say the start. On this channel was covering the case before anybody on social media in general really even was talking about it. Okay, only Nate Eaton was barely talking about it at that point. I mean, he just started doing it. And then we had on Larry and Kay Woodcock on back in December of 2019. So when people say, yeah, I've been watching from the start, well, I mean, this is where it all began, right here. On this channel, we were the first people to cover it on YouTube, basically. And that's it, you know? And then there wasn't anything to cover, and we went on to other things. And that's when the other people take over and turn it into a sensationalistic shit show. But we had it all completely figured out. We knew exactly what happened. Remember how quickly we knew exactly what happened? December of 2019, we already knew basically the whole case, other than, you know, the specific details that were in the probable cause document.
For this witness.
So we didn't just start covering it. Sincerely, Katie, just so you know, we've been covering it since the beginning. We're not Johnny come lately.
No question, Your Honor.
All right, Lieutenant Wilmore, that will conclude your testimony. Thank you for appearing this morning, and you can be excused.
You can go back and listen to my interview with Larry and Kay.
All right, state can call its next witness.
The state now calls Joe Powell.
Yeah, the interview that they played It was just completely. You just couldn't hear it at all on the audio. I don't know what you mean, sincerely, Katie.
All right, Officer Powell, if you just come forward, pause, and raise your right hand.
Well, up above you said, been following it from the start, just like we sort of are just starting to cover it. You know, you should have said, yeah, man, you've been covering it since the, you know, that's what we've been doing. We've been doing it from the start.
Under oath by the clerk.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give.
Okay, you don't know what you mean.
All right, Officer Powell, follow the directions of the bailiff there.
It sounded like you didn't realize that we've been covering it from the start, is what I was saying.
All right, I'll just remind the witness we're keeping a stenographic record of the proceedings, so please answer verbally using yes or no, for example. Please also try to avoid talking at the same time as anyone that's asking you a question. With that in mind, then, also I'll have the state, Ms. Rawlings, please identify yourself on the record before we get started, and you can commence with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am Tanya Rawlings with the Fremont County Prosecutor's Office.
All right, you can inquire on direct.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as we discussed earlier, I do have some certified...
Well, good. No, I'm just saying, sincerely, Katie, we've been covering it since the beginning. You should go back and listen to the Larry and Kay interview. That's all I'm letting you know. I mean, it sounded like as if we're just kind of starting to cover it now, you know. That's probably just my bad perception.
Records for medical documents and also a certified copy of the exhumation order for Tammy Daybell's body. They are marked as exhibits 38 through 41, I believe.
I mean, it was zero audible. Like, I couldn't even after I boosted it up, it was just...
I think based on prior stipulation, I'm moving for their admission at this time.
Oh, okay, sincerely.
So this is exhibits 38, 39, 40, and 41, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, no individually, I'll call those out, then they've all been offered. Is there any objection to the admission of exhibit 38?
Welcome, Skittles Riddles.
No, Your Honor.
Skittles
Any
Riddles.
objection to admitting exhibit 39?
Skittles
I
Riddles.
apologize. We can go back to 38. It's on the business record itself. On the front of it, it says Exhibit 83. And on the back of it, it says 38. Is that what you have?
I do. There's lined out, looks like previously marked sticker. I have a courtesy copy.
Hey, by the way, for those of you just watching here that really hadn't watched my show until, did you ever see how we actually found the exact spot where? I mean, it took me probably 5 hours of looking around, but I found the exact spot where the picture of JJ and Tylee was taken at Old Faithful, right on this little wooden platform right here. It was taken right there. You even can see this in the background in the picture. I thought that was pretty cool to actually be able to... I mean, it took forever because I was literally... what was it? I was over here at Graham Prismatic because they have that same sort of rusty looking stuff. And I just kept looking around at various things, and eventually it led me over here, and I was just kind of looking at different things, and I was just so fortunate because on Street View there's actually on the wooden path down here is somebody had taken the time to do it, and there it was. So it was pretty sweet. Let me see if I can find the picture out here really quick. It's pretty interesting. Wait, actually, I think it was a couple days ago. Let me go back on the 10th? Or no, the 11th? I think it was it should have been maybe the 9th. What day was the first day of the trial? Was it the 11th? Where's this opening up at? This is crazy. I click on this thing and it opens up at a lower, somewhere off the screen that I can't see. Yeah, I can kind of see it there, but God, don't you guys hate that? When you have like a window and it's below. God. Let me close them all down and see what happens. Maybe I need to hit the button where it says expand. Man, that's bizarre. Anybody have a option? You know how to get it where you can see them down below here, but when you click on them, they don't show up in any of the windows that I have on my computer. They're down below. Maybe if there's something where you can hit the oh, there it is. Oh, man. Right there. Ah, man, that was brutal. Okay. I think it might be in this one. There it is, right there. Okay. See, there's the picture right there on the screen. See that? That's not one of the better ones, but you can see that mountain in the background right there. And if you move it over, there's the mountain right there. You can actually see them both on the screen. And they're just standing right on the edge there. They're right in the corner there. See where that person with the baby with that cowboy hat on? That's where they're standing, and you can see it because right here behind him, right there's the corner, and he's sitting right in the corner, and then there's the mountain in the background. Isn't that sweet? Sincerely, Katie? Yeah.
So mine doesn't have the currently marked trial sticker, but probably is worth clarifying on the record the number and the explanation of the sticker on page 1.
Yes, it was used in a prior proceeding, Your Honor, and so the sticker on the front is not the correct sticker. The sticker on the back of the page is the correct one.
Okay, and that would be Exhibit 38, correct, which is the entitled business record certification of Teton Medical Group?
Correct.
Okay. Any objection now if that clarified, Mr. Thomas?
No, I was just concerned that maybe there was a dyslexic type of moment, but I think we're good.
All right. On Exhibit 39, does the defense have any objection to its admission?
No, Your Honor.
On Exhibit 40, it's been offered. Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit 41 has also been offered. Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Each of those exhibits is now admitted into the record of the trial. You can commence with your examination then, Ms. Rawlings.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lieutenant Powell, would you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Joseph Powell, P-O-W-E-L-L.
Where do you currently work?
Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been employed with them?
21 years.
What is your current job title?
Lieutenant.
Do you have any specialized training in order to be a peace officer?
Yes, you have to attend the Idaho Police Academy, and then they require 40 continuing hours within every 2 years.
Ominously sweet.
Do you have any additional training to be a lieutenant?
Yes.
And what training and experience do you have as a lieutenant?
I've been a lieutenant for 6 years and 100 plus hours of training.
Okay. And as a lieutenant, what are some of your job duties?
I'm over patrol, the detectives. I oversee the schedule, look at reports, cover patrol shifts, and help detectives as needed.
Have you worked as a detective in the past?
Yes.
How long did you work as a detective?
Approximately 4.5 years.
Are part of your current duties to investigate and follow up on cases?
Yes, if detectives need help or they're busy, then I'll take a case or two.
In your current role, are you
Gizmo.
informed of unattended deaths in Fremont County?
Yes.
Did you learn of the death of Tamara Daybell?
Yes.
When did you learn of her death?
On October 19th, 2019.
Okay. And in addition to that, were you also contacted by another law enforcement agency regarding her death?
Yes.
Who was that?
Gilbert
And when was
Police
that?
Department in Arizona.
Okay. When did they contact you?
On October 31st, 2019.
What did you learn from that contact?
That they was inquiring about Tammy's death and if we was investigating it, and they had an attempted murder down there.
At some point, did you become aware of an individual or of an investigation involving someone named Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Did you also learn about an individual named Alex Cox?
Yes.
And did you also learn about an individual named Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Did the Gilbert Police Department request your assistance?
Yes, they did.
What did they request your assistance with?
Trying to locate a 2018 Jeep Wrangler, gray in color, with Texas plates.
Did you personally follow up on looking for the Jeep?
Yes.
Where did you initially attempt to locate the Jeep?
Went to the 202 North, 1900 East in Fremont County.
And what residence is that?
The Chad Daybell residence.
Okay. Why did you follow up on this?
It was just quick and easy. Detectives was busy. So I just got in my vehicle and drove out there and checked.
Okay. Did you conduct additional surveillance when you were looking for the Jeep?
Yes.
Where did you conduct that additional surveillance?
565 Pioneer Road in Rexburg.
And how, if at all, did that connect to the death of Tammy Daybell?
Chad Daybell was at that residence with that residence there.
Okay. What, if anything else, about your conversation with Arizona caused you concern over Tammy's death?
About the death surrounding the individuals and the attempted murder.
Okay. Was there anything that caused you concern specifically with the names Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell being connected?
Yeah, the same with the deaths and attempted murder.
Were you involved in surveilling Chad and Lori?
Yes.
How so?
We surveilled them to a few different locations.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed State's Exhibits 35 and 36 at this time. And I believe the court and defense has courtesy copies.
Can I take a look at those just to make sure they're the same as my courtesy cup? Thank you.
All right, with respect to Exhibit 35, do you recognize this document, Lieutenant Powell?
Yes.
How are you able to recognize it?
I was sitting at that table when the photo was taken.
And when was that photograph taken?
November 1st, 2019.
Okay. Does it fairly and accurately depict the scene as you saw it on the day that it was taken?
Yes.
Are there any material alterations to that photograph?
No.
Your Honor, I'm moving for the admission of State's Exhibit 35.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibit 35 is admitted.
And turning your attention to Exhibit 36, Lieutenant Powell, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
How are you able to recognize it?
This was on that same day.
And can you tell us the date again?
November 1st, 2019.
And does it fairly and accurately depict the scene as you observed it that day?
Yes.
Are there any material alterations to the photograph?
No.
Your Honor, I also move for the admission of Exhibit 36, excuse me.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibit 36 is admitted.
And Your Honor, may I have those exhibits back to publish them to the jury?
You may.
All right, and I think this is the third time that I've asked you this question, but when did you observe Chad and Lori at Cafe Rio?
November 1st, 2019.
And this picture depicts that?
Yes.
And what were your observations of them while they were at Cafe Rio?
There's in conversation and eating.
Okay. Where else did you observe Chad and Lori?
Walking in the Hobby Lobby.
Okay, and does this picture show that?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and what did you observe about their behavior with each other?
They was holding hands as they was walking in.
Okay. At some point, was an investigation into Tammy's death conducted?
Yes.
Why?
Because of all the suspicious circumstances, the investigation, her age.
Okay. You mentioned her age. Were there any other suspicious circumstances that you'd elaborate on?
Through the investigation, it seemed that she was in pretty good health.
Okay. And was this a joint investigation with other agencies?
Yes, it was.
What other agencies were involved at this point?
Rexburg Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and I believe the FBI was too.
Okay. At some point, did you turn this investigation over to detectives in the Fremont County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Is that a common practice?
Yes.
How is that decided?
It's just decided on by me, the sheriff, or the chief deputy, and depending on the caseload and what's going on.
Okay. What did you do specifically in relation to the investigation involving Tammy's death?
I did a search warrant on the townhomes in Rexburg, on one townhome in Rexburg, and then I helped with the search warrant at the Daybell residence and the exhumation of Tammy Daybell.
Okay. Now, with regard to the search warrant for the townhomes in Rexburg, the one specifically you did, were you able to determine who was on the lease?
Yes.
Who was that?
Alex Cox.
Do you recall the number?
175.
Okay. Did you also seek search warrants for Tammy Daybell's medical records?
Yes, I did.
And what did you learn from your review of those records?
That she didn't go to the doctor very often. She was in good health. She was being seen for depression and her hand.
Hey, thanks. Oops. Hey, thank you very much, Roger, for the PayPal there. Hold on, I want to make sure I also just from the day or yeah, Roger. Hold on a second. And also Cindy J. She said for putting up with my silliness. And Gloria Batari. And yeah, I think she gets the last notebook of this one. Okay, so Gloria Batari gets the last notebook. There's one left sitting in here, and then I got a new batch being sent. They're the blue notebooks. Oh boy, they are gonna be awesome. So hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Gloria, if you might need to send me your address because the address that's on the PayPal looks kind of funny. Has some blank stuff in it, so make sure to send me your address. All right. Let's see. I'll put her name in there at least. Okay, back to the recording. But thanks very much, Roger. That was very kind.
Do you recall from your review of those medical records anything regarding her heart or blood pressure?
No, I'm going to object. I don't think he has the qualifications to be commenting on medical records.
At this point, I will sustain that objection. I think that's probably outside of the scope of proper testimony for this witness.
Did you run a controlled prescription check or seek a search warrant for Tammy's prescriptions?
Yes.
What did you learn from your review of the prescription records?
Again, Your Honor, I'm not sure he can testify as to a review of prescription medical records. It's the same thing.
He can talk about what he saw in review of the records. What that means is probably outside the scope of any expertise he may have, but you can answer that question, and I'll probably have Madam Prosecutor read the question again at this point.
Okay. And I'll maybe lay a little bit more foundation, Your Honor, too.
Thank you.
As part of your duties as law enforcement, are you able to run controlled substance checks for people's prescriptions?
Yes.
And that's a database that you have access to as a member of law enforcement?
Yes.
And so you're able to verify whether someone has a prescription for a controlled substance?
Yes.
All right. And then in addition to that check, in this case, you also did get a warrant for her prescriptions from Walmart. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in checking that, just asking what you observed or what you saw in terms of the prescriptions she was provided.
She was prescribed fluoxetine and tramadol.
Okay. Based on that, did that cause you any additional concern?
Yes.
What was that?
Your Honor, I apologize, but if he's going to start talking about fluoxetine or tramadol, I'm going to have an objection. I don't think he's qualified to speak on those things. I don't think there's been proper foundation as to his qualifications as a pharmacist and or medical doctor.
All right, there is a pending objection. I think certainly the officers got the foundation here in the training to review what prescriptions were in terms of what those may mean in a medical sense. I think would be outside the scope of proper testimony. So there hasn't been a response yet, but with that in mind, Madam Prosecutor, you can continue to inquire.
Okay. As a result of your investigation, was a decision made to exhume Tamara Daybell's body?
Yes.
What facts for you played into the decision to exhume her?
She was healthy, her age. There was no sign of heart or blood pressure. And with...
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object. He's now talking about her medical diagnoses.
That's overruled. You can continue to answer.
And with her husband being with another lady so soon after.
Okay. And what role did you play in the process for exhuming her body?
I got a court order from Utah.
And was that signed by a judge?
Yes, it was.
Where was her body located?
Springfield, Utah.
Okay. Were you present for the exhumation?
Yes.
And Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to ask that the witness be handed States Exhibits 37A through 37H.
All right, the witness will be provided those.
Just look at all the stuff going on right at this property here. On October 9th, Tammy gets shot at out here, but let's see, 10 days or about 10 days prior. Isn't that weird? The 10 days again. It's something like 10 days, right? Because it was September. No, it was like the 23rd, I think. So, anyways, like 2 weeks prior, JJ's on the property buried here. So just think of it like this. So I think it's on the 8th or 9th of September, Tylee's killed and put right out here, right there in the ground. And then, 2 weeks later, JJ is buried and put right here. All the while, Tammy is still living in the house because she thinks that Chad had killed a raccoon or something. So she's living in the house. Then on the 9th of October, just 2 weeks after JJ was buried out there, she gets shot at in the driveway. And Chad says, "Oh, it was a airsoft gun. Yeah, it was a pellet gun. It was a goofy thing. Yeah, it was a silencer that missed again." Then 2 weeks after that, she's literally murdered inside the same house. I mean, this is a house of horrors here. If I was living there, I would put bombs all the way throughout this entire piece of property and just blow it up and start over again. This thing is just a nightmare right here. I would just demolish it at this point.
Exhibits.
And Lieutenant, can you just review those quickly?
I apologize, Your Honor. Before he answers, may I take a look at those just to make sure they conform to what I have?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I second what Scout and Dude just said to Danielle up there.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to speed things along, I have no objection to the admission of any of those.
All right. Thank you for that, Mr. Thomas. So,
because they can determine that in the autopsy. They didn't even do an autopsy the first time.
They're being offered, I assume, Ms. Rawlings?
Yes, Your Honor. And if there's no objection, I'd move for their admission and to publish to the jury.
Okay. I will then put on the record exhibits 37A, B, C, D,
or
E, F,
doing blood
G,
tests.
and H have all been admitted and may be published to the jury.
I don't know how they do it.
And Lieutenant Powell, in your review of those photos, were they, I think I may have already asked you this, but in case I didn't, were you present for the exhumation?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And I'm just going to walk you through this, and maybe it's better to see. So in looking at State's Exhibit 37A, what does that depict?
Tammy Daybell's grave, and off to the right-hand side you can see the backhoe, a little bit of it.
And 37B?
The backhoe digging the grave up.
37C?
The vault being lifted out of the ground.
37D?
The vault outside the ground.
And what material is the vault made of?
Cement.
37E?
Here.
The vault being open, showing the top of the casket.
So here's something right here. It says, the ability to determine asphyxia as a cause of death is important in forensic practice and helps us to judge whether a case is criminal. However, in some cases where the deceased has underlying heart disease, death by asphyxia cannot be determined by traditional autopsy, and morphological observation under a microscope because there are no specific morphological features for either asphyxia or sudden cardiac death. Here, Fourier transform infrared employed to distinguish asphyxia from SCD. So there's obviously these little high-level technical things that they do. It says Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy was employed to distinguish asphyxia from SCD, sudden cardiac. So remember how they said it was her heart originally? So this is probably what they did. They probably looked at it under a microscope and determined that it was something other, because they never even did an autopsy the first time.
And 37F?
Inside the vault with the casket removed.
Hey, Lily, how's it going?
37G?
Great to see you today.
The casket being loaded into the vehicle to be transported.
Okay. Where was her body taken?
to the medical examiner's office in Utah.
And were you present when the coffin was opened?
Yes, I was.
Did you know Tammy Daybell prior to this investigation?
No, I did not.
Were you able to identify the remains of Tammy Daybell?
Yes.
How?
From photographs.
And 37H is being published to the jury at this time.
And she was exhuming relatively
Tammy's
quickly.
body still in a condition that you could identify it based on those pictures that you'd reviewed?
Yes.
Was there any indication that the body or the casket had been tampered with in any manner?
It wasn't even 2 months.
And what did you see inside the casket?
Tammy Daybell's body.
Were you present for the autopsy?
Yes, I was.
Was there a determination as to the cause of death at that time?
No, there was not.
Following the autopsy, what happened with regard to Tammy's body?
She was taken to a funeral home and then prepared and then taken back out and reburied.
Once the autopsy was concluded, were there any other actions taken in relation to that investigation?
Yes, from the other detectives.
Okay. Now I'm going to turn your attention to January 3rd of 2020. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
What was your assignment that day?
To help serve a search warrant.
Where did you serve the search warrant?
202 North, 1900 East in Fremont County, Idaho.
And what type of building is that?
It's a single family dwelling.
Okay. And whose residence is it or dwelling is it?
Chad Daybell's.
Were any other agencies involved in the service of that search warrant on January 3rd, 2020?
Yes, Rexburg detectives, FBI ERT team, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
Did they collect
Fremont County Sheriff's Office?
evidence?
Yes.
At the end of the search warrant, were items found in the home turned over to you?
Yes.
Do you recall who turned those items over to you?
The FBI ERT team.
And where was this again?
202 North, 1900 East in Fremont County.
And how were the items packaged?
In evidence packaging.
What did you do with those items?
Loaded the items in my vehicle and Detective Mattingly's vehicle.
Okay. And after loading those items, where were they transported?
The Fremont County Sheriff's Office.
After arriving at the sheriff's office, did you turn possession of all those items over to another officer?
Yes, to Detective Bruce Mattingly.
Okay. And were you involved in booking any of that evidence?
No, I was not.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rawlings. Cross-examination from the defense.
Is the court wanting to take a mid-morning break anytime? Just kind of give me kind of a ballpark as to when you want me to.
I was thinking around 10:30, but anytime.
Okay, I think I could probably do my thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Morning, Officer Powell. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. You work for the Fremont County Sheriff's Office currently?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever worked for any other agencies?
No.
Okay. You were contacted by the Gilbert Police Department in Arizona, is that right?
All right, there it is. See, there we got the, that's the blue notebook right there with blue, and it has a little white GHI right there. Okay? That's the final one. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that just kind of cool? Where it's just blue. Don't you think? Yeah, so those are going to be I've already ordered them, so they'll be coming in. So that's the next set. All right? Yeah. All right.
Yes.
With regards to locating a Jeep?
Yes.
Okay. And from that, you were involved in some surveillance of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, is that right?
Yes.
Sweet. Scouting dude.
And you took some photos. I believe one was at Cafe Rio. Do you know where that was? Was that in Fremont County or Madison County or somewhere else?
That was in Bonneville County.
Bonneville County?
Yes.
And how far is that from St. Anthony? Your office is in St. Anthony, is that right?
Yes, it is.
And this photograph was taken in Idaho Falls, is that right?
That's like 3 or 4 months. Yeah, it was September, July, August. Well, maybe 2.5, 3 months between Charles and them.
Yes.
So how far of a drive, if you were to drive, how far is that?
Approximately 30 minutes.
Okay.
Blue is so cute.
Thanks,
So your normal jurisdiction is Fremont County, but you indicate in this particular case that you've served a search warrant or was a primary on a search warrant in Madison County, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I apologize. Maybe I got some things mixed up. You were not on the search warrant of the townhomes in Rexburg?
No. If I did, I just assisted. I was not primary on it.
Okay. You didn't testify to anything about search warrants in the townhomes in Rexburg?
I served a search warrant to see who was on the lease for the townhomes, yes.
Okay, and those townhomes are located in what county?
Rexburg.
Madison?
Madison County, yes.
Okay, all right. And you indicated that Alex Cox was on the lease at 175?
Yes.
Okay. But you weren't involved in actually searching that townhome?
I don't recall, but if I was, it was just assisting Rexburg PD.
Okay. But you don't have any specific recollection of being there when those townhomes were searched?
I don't.
Okay, all right. As far as your surveillance goes of Lori and Chad Daybell, how many times did you surveil them?
Just that one day.
Oh, just the one time. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you follow them to their location from Fremont or Madison County?
Yes.
And which one?
From Madison County.
Okay. And where in Madison County did you follow them from?
565 Pioneer Road.
Okay. So where were you? Were you doing kind of like a stakeout or something at that particular area?
Yes.
Okay. And how long had you been there before you saw Chad and Lori?
I don't recall how long we'd been there.
Half an hour? More than half an hour?
I'd say at least a half an hour.
Okay. And then you followed them down to Idaho Falls?
We followed them a few different places, but yes, we did end up going to Idaho Falls.
When you say we, who is we?
There was myself, Chief Deputy, Thad Gardner, Detective Stubbs, and I believe Detective Hermosello was there for a little bit, but then he had to leave.
Were you all four in the same car, or were you in different cars?
Different vehicles.
Okay. So you were the only one in your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't you hate how he says,
And
okay?
To your knowledge, were you the only one who captured photographic evidence?
What drives me nuts is, okay.
Evidence of this particular surveillance?
No, there was others that collected photos.
Other photos that were taken on this day?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Oh, God.
When you were sitting in Cafe Rio, did you happen to overhear any of the conversation between Chad and Lori?
No.
How far away were you?
There was a table in between us.
Okay. It didn't look like it was very busy. Were they talking at all?
Appeared to be talking, yes.
Okay, but you couldn't hear anything they were saying?
Not to my recollection, no.
Okay.
Because if he had, it would have cleared her.
October 9th investigation of the attempted paintball shooting of Tammy Daybell?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. This is beyond the scope.
I'll overrule that.
Go ahead and answer.
No, I was not.
Okay. Do you happen to know, you were involved in the investigation of Tammy Daybell's death, correct?
Yes.
I mean, obviously you went down to the exhumation and stuff.
Yes.
Are you aware of where Lori Vallow was when Tammy Daybell died on October 19th?
No.
Okay. Would it surprise you to know that she was in Hawaii?
No.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Any redirect from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Tammy Daybell's death, correct?
Yes.
I mean, obviously you went down to the exhumation and stuff.
Yes.
Are you aware of where Lori Vallow was when Tammy Daybell died on October 19th?
No.
Okay. Would it surprise you to know that she was in
He knew that. He knew that she was in
Hawaii?
No.
Okay. No further.
Yeah, I mean, see, Tammy, Lori is part of a conspiracy to commit murder, which is exactly the same thing. See, whenever you're part of a conspiracy, the actual murderers themselves are actually the weapon that the conspirator used. That's how I look at it. Right? So if you plan a murder and you hire a hitman, for example, the hitman isn't really as much as fault as in my opinion, as the actual person who conspired and put it all together to make happen. They are just the weapon that was used. Of course, they're going to get charged too, but that's why the hitman is who they make the deal with, because they think of it the same way, where it's the conspirators, the evil behind it all, not the person who just got paid to commit a crime.
the questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Any redirect from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that'll conclude the testimony then of Officer Powell. I think this will probably be a good time to take a mid-morning break. If I could just briefly meet with counsel at the beginning break to review the day's schedule, we'll do that, and all please rise for the jury then. All right, please. All right, thank you. Let me just indicate also, as we break for the morning break and at any other breaks, there's a couple of rooms that are reserved just outside the courtroom for counsel only. So if you're a member of the observing public, please don't make any entry into those rooms just outside the courtroom doors here. And with that in mind, we'll have our mid-morning break, and I'll just briefly discuss our scheduling with counsel.
All right.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right, Mr. Bailiff, and as soon as the jurors are ready, they can be brought back in.
I've never heard more shit going on in the background.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Okay, we're back on the record on KCR 22-21-1624. The jurors are all present, state's present, as well as the defendant and her counsel. We just concluded our mid-morning break. Typically at this time we would commence with another witness. However, there's been some unforeseen circumstances that have required the state to request that we adjourn for the day. We've discussed that in chambers, and I understand the defense would not object to that request given the circumstances as well. So does the state request an adjournment for the day?
Yes, thank you.
All right, does the defense agree?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, I appreciate that, counsel. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, occasionally these things come up during a long trial. We appreciate your attendance today. We will be adjourning for the day. I will also advise you that we have determined that we're going to need to take a day off, which would be next Monday, the 17th. So, we'll be back on for trial tomorrow, Thursday the 13th, and Friday the 14th. And then you will not be required to return on the 17th, and then we'll start again on the 18th. And I just thought I'd let you know in advance so you can make plans to do other things while you have that break coming up this weekend. So that will conclude evidence for today. As I try to remember to tell you each time we break for the day, please continue to follow the admonishment of the court to not investigate this case. Don't look into the case through the internet or through any other media sources. Please don't discuss the case with anyone else, including each other. And with that, if all would please rise, we'll have the jury excused for the day. All right.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was or anything. Maybe it mentions it somewhere, but it sounded sort of serious, I guess. I don't know. It's so quiet. All right, you guys. If you'd like to help support the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, this is a great time right now. Absolutely fantastic. But I have ordered those notebooks, so they'll be here probably, I don't know, a couple weeks. So if you order notebooks in the meantime, we'll put them in the... I'll just keep them on a text file until they all get here. Yeah, but yeah, you guys' support on the channel allows me to continue doing this. Plus, I donate over 50% of the net revenue to charities in the true crime world, like NCMEC, Texas EquiSearch, RAIN, and we have our own DNA fund. I got to check in with Colleen here pretty soon. I haven't heard much lately from them, so we'll see where we're at. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna go use the facilities for a moment. And then we'll get on to something else. Wow, that worked really well, my spiel there. Went and used the restroom, came back and... wow. Could you last night for today? Yeah, it was pretty good. What are you talking about? They'll be back tomorrow on Friday. Yikes. About them. I don't even know what that means. And what's coming back tomorrow and the next day? Well, they're just hopeless cases, both of them. Yeah, this one right here, right? But Stout is, I think they don't have trial tomorrow. Well, based on that spiel thing, maybe we did an 8-hour show today, and this one's an hour and 40. Where I think we're in this mode right here. We're in a. All right. Let me see. Let's do the. There's this little girl that's been abducted here. It says the California Highway Patrol is searching for a young girl who was allegedly taken by her grandmother's ex-husband. I mean, that's shitty. I mean, that's, in North Carolina and brought to California, authorities said. Authorities said Faith Leigh Harris, 5, was taken from Lincoln County, North Carolina on the morning of April 3rd by Orion Douglas Memmott, 84. Memmott is the ex-husband of Faith's grandmother. Authorities said Harris was flown from North Carolina to California. Wait a second. Let me. I don't know. I'm just trying to get through this. No, it's not. California isn't the... I don't know what you're referring to, by the way. But they went missing in, like, Montana up there. California isn't near there. I think she's talking about something else. Might have to throw myself in prison just to get things going here. Then we'll get on to this next. Yeah, I've already got a bunch of those photos. I've shown them all. I thought you were talking about something else completely. Oh, that picture, yeah. I don't know. Authorities said Faith Leigh Harris, 5, was taken from Lincoln County, North Carolina. Oh yeah, I was going to check him out on... So his name is Orion D. Memmott. Can't be too many of those. Like one, I would imagine. Yeah, this one says he's 83 in Willows, California. So he lives right here in this small little town in that house. Now, there's no Koberger trial next month. The real sunflower. Yeah, there's no trial. Oh, man. Did I lose it again? I'm just going to see if there's anything on this guy. Yeah, he has civil. This is seatbelt stuff, driver, unsafe, really bad driver. Exceeding eligible traffic. Man, like tons and tons of. Probably looks worse than mine in the traffic. No, there isn't a Koberger trial in June. I'm sorry to tell you, everybody. Okay? There is no trial for Koberger in June. It's if there is anything, it's a hearing of some sort. There's no chance in hell he's going to trial in June of this year. I can just guarantee you that. Thanks, Cindy J. Yeah, wow. After my whole spiel on what we do, it was disheartening to see it just be ooh. Alright, so let me get to the story I was just on. I can't find it, obviously. There it is. Authorities said Harris was flown from North Carolina to California. How'd that happen? Endangered Missing Advisory. Emma's been activated by GHP. So he obviously didn't take her to his house, but so she flew her. He flew her from there. I mean, if they were like exes, did he go over there intentionally to get her and fly her out of there? Yeah. Let's see, the California Highway Patrol issued an endangered missing advisory in Butte, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Los Angeles counties for a 5-year-old girl who they believe was taken by her grandmother's ex-husband. According to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina, at around 8:30 a.m. on April 3rd, Faith Leigh Harris was taken by 84-year-old Orion Douglas Memmott and flown from North Carolina to California. Wow. He's believed to be driving a 1990 Chevrolet pickup truck with California license plate 2S. I don't know if it's I or L with no, just a straight line. Z734. So there you go. I guess not, Cindy. So what we'll do is we'll just throw myself in prison. Because apparently that's, hey, look at that. It's not me in prison. It's Danielle from the earlier... I'm going to put Cindy in there. No, how about Eugenie? She's always so nice. We'll put her in there. Cindy. And there, we'll get out of here because I've never seen anything like it in my life. Deader than a doornail. This is the same normal evening show that we always do. We're doing jail because I'm trying to raise funds on the channel because we just, like an hour ago, just went kaput. Alright, so when I do these shows, I spend, hours and hours and hours all day trying to get things ready and doing things. And, it's got to be worth it, like I said before, I give away, last year I gave away $5,000 in just merchandise and stuff, and $62,000 to various charities, okay? So it's not like it helps support me and the channel at the same time. So when we have times like that, it makes me wonder, what the hell's going on, Thanks, Eugenie. She's already been freed. She didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, that's not gonna matter. He's off into the wind with whoever this is. The license plate would matter. Let's see. We'll do maybe a count for like a minute, and then we'll just call it a day. Because I've already done 8 hours. This is going to be 10 hours today so far. Absolutely exhausted. With had some updates on another case, but like she's on the streets. Yeah. Oh well, Zozo. I don't have those pictures, and not really. I just wanted to put the word out there that people are looking for her, and the crazy, this guy right here is Orion Douglas Memmott, 84. He ex-husband of, I guess, the grandmother, and flew her out of there. Thanks, Kathy Chapin and Adniram. Yeah, who knows what he's 84, so I think he's past being, it's sort of an odd situation, I don't think anybody has a real reason why he did it. But they do say that she's in danger, so they must have some other information. Thanks, Admiram, and Danielle, and Ashley Hanson. Ah, God. What is that? Your phone's ringing.
It's my phone.
I know, you need to go get it. Maybe it's important.
Oh, I'm taking my pencil.
Alright, anyways, thanks everybody. Let's see. So I'm just going to go to the Madeline Kingsbury, the one that we've been talking about. And just let me do what I'm going to do. I don't need help or anything like that. Right.
More cases.
Okay, Madeline Kingsbury here. Yeah, I wasn't shared any of that information, so I wouldn't know. I just wanted to get the word out there.
Love my
I don't have
great
time.
family.
I actually do shows and
Get
things
out
like
of jail.
Thank you. Music Maker and Mickey Duff and Terry. So you guys remember the Kingsbury case from the other day where her and the father of her children dropped they have kids together, even though they haven't been married. Dropped the kids off at a daycare and then got back to their house at 8:15, her house at 8:15. And then he says he took her van at 10 a.m. and he drove it down south down here. And his father lives down in this area. And then when he came back at 1:30 p.m. and he was in a he said that's when he arrived back home, but he said when he arrived back home she was just gone and all of her stuff's there, like her purse and ID and everything like that. And what makes the most sense is that she was in the van when it headed south and she never made it back home again. All right, that makes the most sense, not some just random, like somebody else just went and picked her up. All right, so we have there's a official news release today out here by the Winona, it's in Minnesota. The Winona Police Department's update on Madeline Maddie Kingsbury investigation. As the investigation into Madeline Kingsbury's disappearance continues, we are updating the public on what is being done to find her. Evidence to date suggests Maddie's disappearance was involuntary and suspicious. We remain extremely concerned for her safety. All right, and it says multiple law enforcement agencies have been searching for Maddie from the beginning of the investigation. On Friday and Saturday of this past weekend, it is estimated that more than 2,000 people volunteered to search for Maddie. Hey, thanks, Mac. Appreciate it. Since the end of the large organized search on Saturday, April 8th, He-Man, law enforcement has continued to conduct...
Thank you for everything you put into each live. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Law enforcement has continued to conduct targeted searches in Winona and Fillmore counties over the course of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. Over 100 law enforcement and public safety personnel search these additional targeted areas based off information we have received via tips or through investigative discovery. We have drafted and served numerous search warrants as part of our search efforts. We appreciate the continued support of the many agencies helping us look for Maddie. We are receiving dozens of tips a day through Crime Stoppers. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to share information with us. Many of you have asked what happened to Maddie's van. It has been taken and processed for evidence. Throughout the investigation, we have worked closely with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to identify and process any available forensic evidence. We are following up on leads and paths of inquiry, trying to get answers in the case. We had two goals since we learned Maddie was missing: bring her home and, if warranted, hold accountable the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. Releasing certain information about the investigation would jeopardize our ability to achieve these goals. We understand just how much the community wants answers, and we are asking everyone to be patient as the investigation process unfolds. We remain confident we will find Maddie and bring her home to her family. They just put that one out today, I think. And then there is this article here. It says Madeline Kingsbury, the headline is "Sister of Winona Missing Woman Breaks Family Silence in Search." Madeline Kingsbury is a mother of two kids and graduate student and an employee at the Mayo Clinic. She disappeared the morning of March 31st after dropping her kids off at daycare. Her kids are her life. She doesn't really take a lot of time for herself, but she always She's always kind of happy looking for new things to do with the kids. Now Megan Kingsbury is ready to break the family's silence in the search. There's no rule book to tell you how to go about this, so a lot of the time it's kind of hurry up and wait. Megan Kingsbury said the family has been out searching and the past week has been exhausting, but the family is amazed by the amount of people helping in the search. We don't want to go home because then we can't. We feel like we're not doing anything, but when we're here in town, we feel kind of helpless. According to Megan Kingsbury, while the father of Madeline's 2 kids has cooperated with investigators, he has not been involved with the family during this troubling time. The family has its speculations and theories as to what happened, leading up to Madeline's disappearance and who is to blame. I think each of us family members have different ideas or thoughts about what may have happened, but nothing has been confirmed by law enforcement through any of their investigations. The family doesn't want Madeline to become another statistic. Instead, they will continue to be loud about her case. So you have that. Then we have the article from the father of the kids. So this is the main person of interest, I would say. Okay. Father of Madeline Kingsbury's children says he didn't have anything to do with their disappearance. The father of Madeline Kingsbury's children released a statement Wednesday saying he did not have anything to do with the disappearance. Over the course of the last 12 days, my family and I have been subject to a myriad of accusations regarding the disappearance of the mother of my children, Maddie Kingsbury. During these last 12 days, I have cooperated with law enforcement at every turn, including sitting down for multiple interviews with Winona County law enforcement. I did not have anything to do with Maddie's disappearance. I want the mother of my 5-year-old and 2-year-old to be found and brought home safely. I want that more than anything. Law enforcement advised me on April 2nd that they could not comment that I attend. On April 2nd that they would not recommend that I attend the press conference or that I assist in the searches due to safety concerns. I wonder if that's true. I mean, it'd be weird to say that and not have it be true. However, my non-attendance and silence has been inferred by many as a sign of apathy or worse. That could be, well, no, the thing is that makes you seem guilty, or at least part of what happened is that, you guys were breaking up, okay? And somehow you are with her while they're dropping the kids off. Then you leave the house at 10 o'clock in the morning without her, apparently. And you drive, well, you claim that. You said you borrowed the car for chores or something like that. And you drove south. Then you came back at 1:30 and she's just missing and she left all of her stuff at home. Isn't it more likely, like dramatically more likely, that she was actually in the van when you went south? And when you came back, you backed the van in. Okay, so let's see. That could not be further from the truth. I want Maddie home and for her to be able to be with our 2 children. God bless the Kingsbury family, and please bring her home safely. Okay, now I was communicating with AS again, and she sent me a couple of these screenshots from the posts that they've made. This is a post by Adam, the the father of the kids. He said, if anybody, and this has since been removed though, if anybody has seen Madeline since 10 a.m. Friday, please contact the Winona Police Department me or any of her family members. I see lots of misinformation already being posted. Maddie was at home with me from 8 to 10:30. Okay, well, you said you left at 10, so why do you need to know where, if she was home with you until 10:30, why do you need to know where she was at 10 a.m.? Which is when I left to do errands. When I returned an hour-ish later, she was gone. Please help me find the mom to our 2 beautiful kids. Okay. Well, you know where she was for a half hour of the time you asked for, because you said Madeline since 10 a.m., and then you said you were with her from 8 to 10:30, and maybe that is true, but you said you left at 10, so when you're still with her, does that mean she's in the car with you? You know, that's what I would wonder. And then there's also the brothers out there commenting. This is what she sent me too. Zozo mentioned that as well, but this is what AS sent me. She said, Melissa McKay, Teresa Sis Meiji, I think you tagged the wrong person. Caitlin Armstrong shared the screenshot, but I am curious as to why your family is not allowed to share small details. I mean, if they are facts that wouldn't affect the investigation, what's the harm? The prior night, a message was caught on her phone. So look at Cassie Lee. The prior night, a message was caught on her phone, and it said, if anything happens, blame Adam. What? That just sounds totally bogus, you know. Yet this is not anything to investigate, according to the Winona. Well, who caught it? When you say caught it, and who would say, if anything happens, blame Adam? If anything happens? Why would somebody send that to her and then she's missing? It seems like you would say that if somebody else was missing and she got that. And then look at the... Okay, let me go to the page 3. If there was a message from Maddie saying, if something happens, blame Adam, that does not make it look any better for him. Far worse, actually. Not really, since her phone was at home. Her phone could have sent a message that was not from her. No, but it said it was on... It was... Let me read that again. Prior night message was caught on her phone. What does that mean? What does that mean? Caught on her phone. Her phone could have sent a message that was not from her to frame someone if someone else really involved. So she sent that, or he said it was sent the evening. Okay, he said it was sent the evening before. She would have had her phone the night before disappearing. I don't know. Jeez, it just sounds like there's a little bit of like misinformation being spread around by the brothers and family members. That's what it feels like. What do you guys think? Let's see. Get a message or give me. How come nobody has messaged me back from? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Just getting the goods together. I think he has some explaining to do. Yeah, man, I feel like I gotta get out of here. I'm feeling, I keep coughing. I turned down the mic, but you can't hear it. I'm gonna go rest somewhere. But that's pretty much the update. I know behind the scenes the family all think it's probably the, the father of the kids. Definitely seems like it. And then there's this sex offender, basically a rapist down in like the Berkeley area that's been arrested. And apparently he went somewhere else too. He's like a serial rapist type guy. So we'll take a look at that one maybe tomorrow, see how I feel. But appreciate you guys being here. And I'm not in quarantine. What do you mean? I don't even know if there is any rules about quarantine or anything like that anymore. You know, like you go to the store to pick up your Paxlovid, you gotta, you know, you're gonna have COVID when you're picking it up, right? I mean, so it just feels like it's just kind of is what it is. I'm a fraud. I'm such a fraud. What an idiot. Oh, God. Yeah, well, tell the other fraud who gave $143,000 to charity the same thing. Oh, wait, there isn't anybody. Never mind. Yeah. Oh, somebody typed it in up there. Some moron. One of the people from Reddit. You know, they just show up every night in here. That's what they do. In fact, the account was created on March 24th, so that's when you know exactly what you got there. A troll who's finally used up their last bit. They'll have to create another account so they can come on. Yeah, that whole smart water thing. What is smart water? It's just water, you know. It's a way to sell. Yep. See you later, Terry L. A.K.A. D. Sims. Okay. Well, earlier today I gave out 5 memberships, so we'll just call it the same thing. Yeah. I'm just gonna go with, like, you know, I'm gonna probably tomorrow. I'm gonna get that Paxlovid and call it a day. I don't need all the little extra random. It's amazing that people just come in like that. What a bunch of losers. Man. Wow. What do you mean? What was an accident? What do you mean? Oh yeah, I got the zinc Admiram. I don't need the other stuff though. No, I can't, Cindy. Some nights it just doesn't happen. Yes, you are on the spin. Man, you guys is just always looking for something. Like an angle. Just don't worry about it sometimes, you know? It's just, you know, the key here is... What? Yeah, definitely, whenever we don't do a spin, I keep everybody's name on there for the next night. Right? I've done it every single time. You don't need to ask about it. You don't need to... It's weird. I should never even have done it. The spins, you know. Did I get the... What do you mean, did I get the tissue box? What does that mean? I don't get it. I gotta get the hell out of here. Just... Man, unbelievable. I feel like I'm being punked tonight, you know? That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's just sort of been hitting me a little bit later tonight. For some reason. Eeh. Okay, thank you to Scouting Dude, Tosh, and Mag with the cat eye, and Danielle, Adniram, Annabelle Stealth, Mickey Duff, Eugenie, Flounder23, Scouting Dude, Melinda Motimated, Courtney Robb, Danielle, Daryl Montgomery, Tosh, Sincerely, Katie. Skittles Riddles, new member. Robin, Danielle, Cindy J, Eugenie, Kathy Chapin, Adniram, Danielle, Ashley Hansen, Music Maker, Mickey Duff, Terry, Lisa Valenzuela, Mag, and Robin right at the end. Thanks, Adniram, for your email. I do have the zinc already, though. So we'll just go with that. Yeah, zinc plus something else. I can't remember. And vitamin D. And
Sick face, sick face, sick face, sick face, sick face.
anyways, maybe I'll try to get some more information on the hold on missing Faith Harris. Sounds like there was more information. I just don't have it. I just thought, well, I got to put it out there since it's new, and then we'll look at it later. All right, I'm putting in the for the spin for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, if somehow it gets deleted, oh well.
Feel better, Gray. Hugging face.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be, I'm just going to rest more of the day tomorrow because there is no trial in the morning. Thank God, huh? Today was sort of mildly entertaining with Letitia being interviewed inside the hospital. I thought the officers, though, were almost creepy at the end there. Like, even if you don't like her, it's like, man, they were just kind of wouldn't let her out the door. They're like, yeah, can you just, kind of blocking her way. And it was just kind of bizarre, actually. Thought it was kind of dumb because it gave away the fact that they absolutely think she's the culprit. And she is. I mean, she admits it. But anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. And thank you. Thanks for all the support all the way throughout the whole day. Very cool, very cool. And it's good seeing. Sorry for the grumpiness, if it is any more than any other night. As was stated last night, I was born with COVID grumpiness. All right. Anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And where is it? I don't even know how to get out of here. There. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody, talk to you later.
Goodbye, everybody.